Hello. What's good, everybody? Thank you so much to Sewanee staff, as everyone says. Especially thank you to everyone who sent me food and medicine and nursed me to good health so I could actually be here today. Um, yeah, I was in quarantine for 5 days. It was not great, but they had a protocol. Shout out to the people who are watching on live stream. I also hope you test negative very soon. So I'll read my first poem. It's called Spondylolisthesis, or Why I Eat Taco Bell. I grab a number 7 when I'm most depressed. Like today, scarfing down a Crunchwrap Supreme to drown out the dagger and twist in my lower back. Like tomorrow, the Baja Blast overpowering the black boy asking for anger to save them in my throat. My back hurts in a country that wants to disable me. What feels better than hard shell medicine? A lover, read stranger, asking if you need anything else. So I stuff my sadness with hot sauce packets. My gifts come wrapped in hexagons too sexy for my pain. Weary needs saving as much as it needs flavor, and a country not cashing in on black suffering. What is your after appointment fix? Mine costs $7.22. Mine is fractures with enough decency to come packed with straws and napkins. What does your healing cost? Thank you. Right, my second poem is called Good Grief. It is kind of field notes from Texas Winter Storm Uri. If you have no frame of reference for that, in 2021, a lot of Texans, millions of Texans, me included, were left without power and water for 7 days. Good grief. I'll admit, I've never thought about frostbite, trauma of the blood, a thing to be avoided when heat goes out for an entire state. I don't know where to place this grief, this sweltering state freezing. Politicians breezing over to a country that doesn't have tissue choked out by its winter yet. The sky can only do what it does. The American government can only do what systems driven by green paper, violence, and ache can do. Trees bloom over dead bodies missing. The sound of hands rubbing, engines purring, hopes that gaslights or chafing or the rapture won't come first may quiver in my blood forever. I am black, and maybe I am doomed. Memory flashes like a computer screen. I see the Zoom link expand. Colleagues process whatever failure number of 1,000 this was this year, and I can only remember white. 6 inches deep, sunken into my boots all over. The timeline of friends stranded, impending doom of electricity cutting off, water pressure slipping into nothing every hour, pipes bursting atop all that white. I haven't recovered from seeing things that too closely resemble holes in a graveyard. I haven't forgotten the project is due in 2 weeks. My therapist says, take it easy, as if capitalism is listening, as if the body will ever forget what it's given. I am black, which is history personified. I used to listen to Pilot Jones fondly. With all this frostbite on my fingers, I'm not sure if I can type. I cannot finish another sentence on unity. What is unified about ERCOT letting us freeze, knowing how to fix the problem, not doing it? How does that form a kumbaya circle? If I made art about every pain I'd felt unjustly, I'd be swimming in accolades for great American books. I would take back every word I've written if it ended this. The U.S. is the worst group project. I'm writing a great American poem about suffering. How much is going without food that isn't canned for a week worth? The absence of snow feels like betrayal. My memory mixes with American delusion. I can't believe half the things that I've been through. Ice cold, baby, I told you I'm ice cold. I never been taught how to adequately mourn nights spent bitching about a brisk wind. The night we almost got stranded trying to get to Jay before the cold swallowed them whole. I want to give everything I've been handed a good cry. Red skin and chapped lips deserve it. Good grief, what has Texas done to me? I can't cry about the body, but I feel it. A highway splits a nation from its promise to be one. Everything feels blurry and the palm trees have died. Everything transported here withers away eventually. 6 months later, and I haven't been able to shovel out my sadness. A news report said it was safe to go back to work, and I listened, because what else can you do in 6 inches of white? The snow melted, and I still feel frostbitten. There are no heroes in a freeze frame changing nothing. I pose, begrudgingly, say cheese, then write this. I'm not a survivor, just still breathing. I remember grief, love's grand finale. What else do we have if not the memory of life? I cannot tell you how many lives I've lost to mourning, but I can tell you the sky does what it does. Let's go for a walk and touch trees that survived like us. Let's write a future more joyful and less inevitable in segments of leaves. Anything we dream will be better than this. Thank you. Right. So this poem is called T-Shot number 5, Ode to My Sharps Container. I like to write odes to things that I don't particularly like because it helps me get closer to them. Sharps Container is just a thing that I put needles in every week when I take my T-Shot injection. Holder of loose blood. Taker of contraptions I use when I'm brave enough to save myself. Visual reminder that I can do it. Former container of pickles so it smells like sour victory. Glass house of my gender. Chest hair maker. Every interaction at the coffee shop, on the phone with medical providers, every nervous laughter after checking the sex on my ID comes down to you, my ass hair activator. Restitution for a 20-year gap between who I was and could be. Balding beauty. Conjurer of my wildest dreams, ones I've dreamed since I was 13. Activist, advocate, apt to be who believes in me. Tallying up all my tea and all my boys who didn't get to be boys. Heaven sent, heaven's back door, roping me up through the vent. Thank you. Right. So those 3 are from a book called Freedom House. It's available at the bookstore, yada, yada. So this last poem I'll read is from a memoir called Pretty. Yes, I put poems in my memoir because my rules, you know? This poem is called You Can Call Us But. Again, thank you for having me. This is after a Gwendolyn Brooks poem called We Real Cool and an Erykah Badu song called Tyrone. Just think 2 teenagers who are off to college. You can call us, but we won't pick up the phone. We gone away for college. We close up shop on our hearts. We loose from the family chains of queer phobia. We lose all people that love us badly. We sing Hotep songs while walking to the club. We visit each other's hands when dancing silly. We visit our family when they guilt trip us enough. We introduce our friends, mix them into a friend's stew. You smoke till your eyelids can't keep up with you. I fill the flask and free cups past the brim. We sloppy sing till the air is unsaid truths. We tell the truth, but we have to like you first. We'll have babies if we're still lonely at 30. We end the night making ourselves pretty spectacles. We going straight to hell if it's queer and got decibels. We end the night drunk in love and susceptible. We bend each other out of shape. Thank you. And next up, we have Liddy Conklin.
Before I begin, I just want to let you all know I have a chronic cough. So if you hear me coughing, it's not COVID. I'm just sick. I'm going to read a couple poems from my first book, Extinction Theory. It's a big yellow book with a yellow T-Rex on it. I forgot to bring it. And it came out with the National Poetry Series a couple years ago. And the reason I'm telling you this, thank you, is because it was also a finalist for the National Poetry Series the year before that, and on my submittable, that one is still pending. I hope they take it someday. This first poem is called God Theory. The big G stands for gravity. It is the main thing preventing me, a wingless angel, from taking flight. No halo, no bullshit about purity or goodness or godness. There isn't a single creature who doesn't need to touch the ground. And what is God but a creature? Sentient and asking to be loved, asking for faith in all the things that can't be seen about him, which is everything, which is a whole lot of trust I don't have even in myself. Maybe this whole time I've been looking for God in all the wrong places. The earth is the beast's mouth, and God is the beast. I've spent my life on the fringe of being swallow. I confess I have never prayed. I think God is how people make sense of life and death, that there must be someone who understands it all, that we don't just close our eyes and disappear. But we go to sleep and wake up every day and find the people around us slowly dying. Life as a series of extinctions. I will say this once. I can't believe in God. My life is not so insignificant. If I jump right now, the big G will bring me back down. If I pilot a plane, I will crash once all the fuel burns. If I grow wings, they will tire. If I shout to the sky, I will run out of breath. I will lose my voice. If I say God, I mean there's a part of me that wants someone to tell me everything is okay, that I'm tethered to the ground like everyone else, that the sky isn't filled by some big idea, some God who knows me better than me. This next poem started as a dad joke, and then it became a dad poem, which is maybe how a lot of dad poems are. Anagrams. I am an anagram of my father. In America, it is anapound. It is an archaic system of measurement. I have my father's eyes. I am made of letters I didn't learn until I was 5. A is for assimilation, which is an anagram for cultural exorcism. If I say I'm glad I can speak English, I mean to say English is an anagram for God's tongue. I mean to say I don't believe in people who expect to be trusted. My father gave me a chili pepper and told me it was sweet. Lost my spot, sorry. He showed me the plant it grew on, its stems striking the sky like lightning, like the pepper that would burn my tongue is 1 in a million. Million is an anagram for poor, which is an anagram for telling restaurants I wasn't 10 to get the kids' buffet price until I was 14. At 14, lying became an anagram for divorce. Divorce became an anagram for beginning, as in the beginning there was light, and light said, let there be God, and God said, let there be life, and my father said, let this pepper teach you humility. There are days where I'm bilingual and days where I don't speak with my parents. My father saw my mother as an anagram for love. This is not how it works. Dad is an anagram for add. I've been piling the letters into my mouth for a long time, and I still can't make a good anagram for love. There's evol, which is an abbreviation for evolve, which is an anagram for aging, which is an anagram running from your birth. The start gun sounded off, you breathing harder each step. It is easier to be struck by lightning than to win the lottery. You stand in an open field with your hands pressed in prayer, arrowed above your head towards the sky, and you say light when you mean life, and you say God when you mean good, and you say Father when you mean further, and you say you when you mean I. I'm going to read a few poems now, not from the book. One of them is pretty old, and then the other two are new poems I've written while I've been here in Sewanee. And this first poem is called Extinction Theory, which I thought would be funny to not be in my first book and be in my second book. I'm glad some other people find it funny. And it's kind of, it's about, this one kind of goes out for anybody who hasn't had sex in a while. Sometimes I talk to my friends and they're like, I haven't had sex in a while, and they're like, I'm like, how long? They're like, 2 months. And I'm like, man, I got a box of expired condoms like in my drawer. That's long. All right, come on, Nate, I heard that. Extinction Theory. The last time I had sex, the death of the dinosaurs came clear to me. How it must have been catastrophic when the asteroid cleaved the ground because nobody knew how to catch it. I am waiting for the ice age to pass before I say hello to another woman. Hello. I'm a dinosaur in a way. I am Jeff Goldblum's famous nemesis. I am not asking you to sleep with me. I am asking you to consider sleeping alone is when I understand the Tyrannosaurus Rex the most. His short arms unable to generate enough friction to keep his body warm. This is my mammalian way of understanding. I am not cold-blooded. Here's my theory. The dinosaurs died because they didn't have enough sex. Reproduction and obligation against extinction they didn't understand. Welcome to Jurassic Park. This is not something to mutter during sex. I sometimes think of Jeff Goldblum and what he will do next. Dinosaurs lasted millions of years. I lasted 2 before breaking them out as a pickup line. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven, dear asteroid? You blew up the dinosaurs. You look like the sun coming in for a closer look. The absence of sex, 10,000 years of winter. I'm going to read a poem. Marianne, if you were here at Marianne's reading, she read a quick poem about me, and I thought I should return the favor. We can start a little Kendrick Lamar beef, except with like a lot more love. And I thought it'd be like, I was going to call it Not Like Us at first, but then maybe that's a little much. So this poem's called One Heathen, and it's for Marianne Chan. I tell you I like your shoes, and you say thanks. They're just kicks. I tell you I like your poem, and you say, which part? Was it baby Jesus blessing the nights in Biddle City, saying, here is light, and here is love, and here is my father's handlebar mustache, rocking me to sleep on one half of his face, and baby Jesus on the other. Both of us hidden in the hair the way adult Jesus will never be hidden, will always lord over my shame. Was it the part where I couldn't speak Cebuano, the older brother, the many times I moved? All of it, I say. But really, the baby brother you never had. Not baby Jesus and not me. But if it was me, I would want to be your shadow, my shadow mouth ebbing as you croon a karaoke ballad, my shadow arms grabbing at the mic, my shadow legs too thin. And when the light would move, you'd step through the shadow as if we were one, as if your light became mine and my shadow became yours. You say all this light and shadow is too familiar. We have seen it before. We will see it again. But I find comfort in this blessed life, where there is distance between our shadows, where even a slight movement renders our shape into something less human and less familiar. Then just one final poem. I finished this last night, so this is the right place to kind of do this thing. And it's funny, because KB this line came up earlier in one of their poems. So it's called Boys Will Be Boys. If I pull a piece of chicken out of the oven too soon and tell you food will be food, pink will be pink, you might hold my head to the cutting board and swing a cleaver down on my neck. Might hang my body until the blood drips out, and blood will be blood. Such is the throat of a headless chicken running around without realizing it is already dead. Such is a party trick where a white boy lifts me into the air by my neck just to see if he could. And when I come down, I tuck my head into my shirt where I smile like a woman who has been sawed in half by a magician. A chicken dies, and then there is another. I have learned that when the last animal of a species dies, it takes scientists decades to confirm they are extinct. A delayed kind of mourning. Inside of me is a small boy who doesn't know he's already dead. I'm waiting a bit longer before I can say with certainty, there are still traces of softness, of something tender and unable to believe that noise will be noise. That boys could be more than flesh and bone, and the kind of violence that makes me sick, that makes me raw. Thank you. And our final reader for today is Alexis Macedo.
I have little legs, and I was like, wow, that journey is much farther than it looks. Okay. Hi, I'm Alexis Elisa Macedo. I say my full name because it is worth every letter. And thank you. And I am one of the playwrights, and I wrote my first musical that is opening in New York City next month. Thank you. And it is called Under the Sheet. It's not as raunchy as it sounds. It follows a cleaning crew, not maids, a cleaning crew. They don't like being called maids, who work for a hitman in 90s LA. And they work for, he has a really scary name, Mr. Bossman. And he gives them protection on the streets so long as they follow the cardinal rules, and the most important one of all being, we don't know the person under the sheet. And each of them has their own tasks to do for each job, like, I'm Miriam, the one with the broom. I'm sweeping up, lifting up the furniture to vacuum. Itty bitty shattered shards, every single little piece of broken glass gets picked up. When I got the broom with me, I can do things with this broom you ain't never seen. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a bulked up hottie. I'm the one who carries out the body, cradles up the body. Somebody better get the body. Nobody but me touches the body. We got Miriam's a younger one, goofball. Piper, on the other hand, is a little bit older, old school vieja. First name Piper, last none of your beeswax. My nimble fingers can slide through tile cracks, wiping down surfaces, leaving no fingerprints. Piper, you rub that good? Yeah, that's what your mother said. And then we got Alicia. She feels a little chip on her shoulder because she's got these solutions she's mixed together that can get blood out of anything. I come with the precise mix of scrubbing, soaking, and timing. The power of pine salt, that ain't mean shit to Ali. Super secret, unscented, Salas family recipes passed down from generations of aprons to little me. Pequeña botellas, pero rosas, hold my job security. Immigrated, concentrated, disintegrating easily. Anything with DNA that comes into contact. When I got this in my hands, bitch, you better step back. And last but not least, Veronica, who tonight is the one under the sheet. And sun's gonna start rising. They've gotta get to work. So they start doing what they do to help the time pass. They start scrubbing. Clock is ticking, blood is getting thicky. Scrubbing the sticky middle between bled and bleeding. Alicia, who's bleeding out? Alicia, who we talking about? Dark-haired beauty with skin like chocolate, making a mess on the bossman's white carpet. Natural-born brunette, but the roots don't lie. She touches up a treat, drugstore box, hair dye. There she laid, edges laid. Too bad she gotta take them grays to the grave. Mark of a mama busting her ass on the ground. Chalk outline ain't the only thing she leaving behind. Clock is ticking, blood is getting thicky. Scrubbing the sticky middle between bled and bleeding. Miriam, who's bleeding out? Miriam, who we talking about? Green manicure on skin like caramel. Her man gets jealous, so she dress undesirable. Baggy shirt, baggy pants, have her looking like a man, but her scent of death, fruity flower or something. Her face is baked like a cake. She pretty, but oh, make no mistake. Mama was layering all those shades and hues under her eyes. You can still see a purplish blue bruise. Clock is ticking, blood is getting thicky. Scrubbing the sticky middle between bled and bleeding. Piper, who's bleeding out? Piper, who we talking about? And Piper can't do it. Piper and Veronica are from the east side, the same neighborhood. Alicia and Miriam are from the west side. And we're jumping far ahead in this story, and the root of where I fit into this narrative is an undercover detective. Detective Solis is there, chasing bossmen and led by a blame for the women that she believes is giving women like her a bad name, women who look like her a bad name, women who come from the same neighborhood as her a bad name. Because she has risen above her circumstances. But when she shows up in their uniform and takes a peek under the sheet, learning it's a woman that looks like her under there, she is stuck with the realization that I made stereotypes on false truths, worked harder to be seen as better than you, bending over backwards to blend into matter. My one-way glass shield has been completely shattered. I came in here and saw a woman like me, murdered in cold blood under a sheet. You're right, a woman. If I had seen on the street, I would have looked up and down thinking I knew everything about her from a distance, assuming her experience was the same as mine, but really our options and choices don't align. The pushpin boards used to blur together. Now I see a collage of justice's failures, each unique feature, shade, and smile, each one a woman, a person, a child. You could put my picture up there and they wouldn't know me. I wouldn't stand out. I wouldn't be worthy of being found. Why bother looking? Just another brown woman, either dead or missing. If rising above can't keep me safe, if the badge can't keep me safe, if my hard work can't keep me safe, who can keep me safe? When will I be enough to be safe? Why aren't I enough to be safe? What more can I do to be safe? This is for her. More than a picture on a pushpin board. She is worth looking for. And for today, it ends there. Thank you. Thank you.